My name is John Edgar. I'm the chairperson of the Anti-Gambling Task Force for the United Methodists in the state of Ohio. It's a real privilege just to be here today. This is one of the few times where I got an invitation. I just wanted to come because I have been reading the things that John has been writing for a number of years. But this is the first time I've been in the room with him. And forgive me for as a pastor, I just want to say amen. What he's been saying here is the essence of the arguments that a number of us have been making for many years. I've actually been working to oppose casino gambling in this state for 19 years. This is the 5th time this issue is before us. And the underlying reality has never changed. Gambling always does more harm than good. And the statistics that John cited just speak for themselves. I remember a number of years ago when we were just waving this one around, and I've been at news conferences with some of you talking about it. We thought it was over when this report came out. It was just so absolutely clear. The gambling social costs are extreme, and he's quantified it. It also comes down to individual lives that are ruined through addiction, and it's a derivative effect. Gambling addicts harm not only themselves, but their whole families. And it is bankruptcies and foreclosures, but it's also increased rates of suicide, child abuse, spouse abuse. It goes on, and there's no reason that we should inflict this on ourselves. The one other thing that I wanted to take just a minute to do, and actually wrote out a brief statement, so I'd say this as precisely as I can, that in addition to all that's in general wrong about moving to casino gambling, all of these social and economic costs, issue 3 is actually even worse than most, maybe any of the others before. It has some of the same bad characteristics, but also some unique things. And I just wanted to very briefly mention that. Issue 3 is an amendment to the Constitution of the state of Ohio to create a casino monopoly to the benefit of a few individuals, including out-of-state gambling corporations this time. The amendment was written to protect the special interests of the entities who own or will own the 4 properties where the casinos are to be located. These same individuals and corporations then paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to gather the necessary signatures to place issue 3 on the ballot. In other words, this did not go through the General Assembly. They wrote their own ticket. By its very nature, allowing out-of-state casino interests to write themselves into our Constitution will create a situation where the fox is watching the hen house. Or to be more precise, this is a situation where the fox paid enough money and wrote the rules that limit who can protect the hen house. And that is a serious problem for all of us. And therefore, it's not a surprise that the actual language, if you read through the dense 5 pages of this amendment, remember, all this goes into our Constitution, all of this verbiage, the actual language on purpose, I would suggest, fails to provide sufficient regulatory safeguards to protect Ohio citizens from gambling corruption and even the involvement of criminal elements. The amendment language creates a distinction between casino facilities and casino operators. The facilities are the lands and the improvement where the casino's gambling takes place, and the operators are the ones who manage that. Well, here's the thing. The amendment does create an Ohio Casino Control Commission, but the actual language written by these casino interests does not provide any regulatory authority of any kind over the casino facility itself. It's written so the only regulatory authority has to do with the casino operator. It then goes on to describe what is a casino operator. And this, and I'm not an attorney, but the attorneys have been consulted with the last few days. This is what they're saying. It is stated that a casino operator can be a person or a corporation that directly owns or has a leaseholder right to operate the casino. And here's the issue. According to the law in the state of Ohio, that word directly is incredibly important. You see, a corporation is the corporation in this situation that can be monitored, to be regulated, because it is the one that directly will own or have the lease. But the shareholders of the corporation do not constitute by law part of what is the direct ownership, nor therefore can it be regulated by this constitutional amendment and this gambling regulatory agency. In other words, just to make this real simple, folks who have been convicted of crime, including crime related to gambling in another state, could form a corporation that corporation could then purchase from Penn National or any, could purchase one of these sites or simply purchase the right to be the operator. And there is nothing that can be done, according to this constitutional amendment, to stop those folks who are convicted criminals from being involved indirectly as the shareholders who control the corporation. The corporation is the casino operator. It's a serious problem. And finally, to underscore how serious that could be, I want to read just one statement from a year ago. It's a statement from an ad against Issue 6. It's a statement from the ad that was produced and has the voiceover from the Fraternal Order of Police from a year ago. It states this: the Fraternal Order of Police of Ohio represents 25,000 police officers. We've studied Issue 6 from a law enforcement perspective, and we strongly oppose it. Issue 6 does not contain regulations needed to protect the public. There's nothing in 6 to keep criminals from working in the casino. There's no real accountability of local control. Folks, that's what they said a year ago when they were concerned that somebody who is a convicted criminal might run a blackjack table. This is a situation where there could be a corporation where convicted criminals are in control behind the scenes and operating casinos in the state of Ohio. We need to understand, as John has indicated, that casino gambling will always hurt Ohio families. And we also need to understand it makes no sense to amend our Constitution, allow the gambling casinos themselves to write their own ticket, to set the rules for who watches the hand.